All right, what's up, Smite community, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook? I'm here to offer some coaching services. I know I've made a post about this in the past on the group page. Just wanted to give anyone who is still on the fence and undecided about whether they actually want help a little sampling of what you can expect um, when you submit a video to me or to any one of us that's going to be helping out. Um, this is the kind of feedback you can expect to get. As you can see, this is my own gameplay. I'm right here. I'm playing Poseidon, um, playing in mid lane, and basically I'm just going to go through the game. I'm going to give you like a little kind of a play-by-play, like what I was thinking as I was playing, as well as some commentary as to what I did right, what I did wrong, things that I can improve on. Um, just so you know like what you can expect when you've asked me for help or anyone else. So with that, let's get started. All right, minimize my OBS here. Or actually, I don't want to minimize this. I want to make it smaller. Okay. So, start out here. We got our starting build. Me personally, even though Poseidon is an extremely like you might think Poseidon, very mana hungry god. You probably want Book of Thoth, right? I personally believe that he's 2 mana hungry for the Book 2 start, and I don't really like the Blessing plus Book 1 start. So I decided to go here with a Blessing plus Pen start, and Barons on your team, you got to get the Barons brew, right? So just to kind of wait, why is my oh fuck, hold on. There we go. Sorry, didn't have the sound on the video. So you should have game sound now. We're going to be playing with Elite Sniper here, who I totally forget already, but I'm fairly sure he is a Grandmaster player, or was at one point. I didn't notice at the time, but the entire rest of my team is him and his party. Kind of, they kind of start roasting each other later in the game, which is kind of funny. But now that makes a lot of sense. All right, so standard start here, mid laner. Help your jungler clear the speed buff. Make sure you get the full credit. Well, not the full credit, but you get credit for the big creep. Head to lane. We're up against the Hera. Now, when you're against Hera, I know she's very strong right now. I know she's also getting nerfed in 6.1. What you really want to do against Hera is you want to try and just pressure her, kind of just not allow her to be able to step on the gas against you, because if you let her step on the gas against you, you're going to have a bad time, and I mean a really bad time. So to me, I think the way to go is to pressure her out, keep her in or close to her tower. That way, it opens up the map for you to farm and put her behind. I soloed my red because jungler went to backs and then blue. There's going to be a Loki popping up here in a second. Yeah, right there. Yeah, this guy shows up in my lane quite a bit in the early game, and yeah, don't mind me laughing. I'm not usually the type to laugh at people. I'm just chuckling over the fact that Loki is going to be F tier in 6.1. He tries again. Not a very good 3 by me there, but it got him off of me, which is what I wanted to do. And I think I'm pretty sure I missed it when it happened, but I think I also panicked and used my second Baron's Brew a little too early. You just got to be mindful of that if you have that item. Just make sure that one's not going when you pop another one, because it only resets the timer. It doesn't stack. The other interesting thing about Baron's Brew is that the timer on it is shorter. It only lasts for 20 seconds as opposed to 25. So you get a little bit less out of it than you would a health or a mana chalice. Thor goes over to clear purple, so I'm going to go take backs. Just to make sure I'm doing something in lane. One of the key things that I notice a lot of mid laners who are just starting out the game do is that they they clear the wave and then they just kind of sit in lane like, okay, now what do I do? Well, that you shouldn't be doing that. You always want to make sure that you're getting farm from somewhere. The meta has changed this season in the sense that mid laners get a lot more solo farm than they used to. I'm just backing here for boots too. And buy some potions. I don't know why I bought 3. I don't know. I just thinking back now, I'm not really sure why I bought 3. Like 1 or 2 would have been enough. But anyway, yeah, meta shifts. You get a lot more solo farm in mid now, so you're not constantly sharing, excuse me, with the support or with the jungler. So it's really easy to get big, and a great way to do that is to make sure that you're constantly rotating and moving around the map when you don't have anything in lane. Like you're going to see here, Thor's going to come, so I don't want to use an ability, but I'm going to because the Thor's there, just to make sure he gets all the XP. And then immediately just boom, go to red buff, get it. Like, red buff ran out, that means it's up, go get it. Get the XP, get the buff, get back to lane, keep farming. Now we're level 5, and Poseidon's level 5 is excellent. He has an amazing level 5, probably one of the best among mids. Anyone that doesn't have Aegis against Poseidon at level 5 is basically dead. So check right camps here, they're not up. I made a mistake there. I didn't move far enough into the camp to remove the icon from the screen. Now I noticed Loki went left, and the red isn't up, so I know he's on this camp. And for some reason, now, what he did wrong there was when he sees me coming, he should drop the camp. Reason being, he's not level 5, so he can't go on me and kill me. So he really should just drop the camp and go do something else. But he stayed on the camp and basically just painted a big-ass target on himself, and he ended up dead for it. So this time I correctly dropped the the icon. And we're kind of just gonna play back here a little bit. I know obviously my ult's down. Hera's is likely up. She hit 5 recently. I haven't seen her use it. So we know that Argus is up, so we don't want to really aggress. Thor goes for his speed here. Robin backs. The dual lane is pressuring, so I can go take these back harpies and hit level 7 off of the camp. So we're on a good pace. We're not even 5 minutes into the game. We're level 7 already. We're doing well. And again, Hera backed. This is a free wave. Or I'm sorry, she didn't back. She rotated to duo. That was actually my mistake. I didn't call missing middle soon enough, so my dual lane didn't know that she was there. Completely my fault. Now I want to back here, but Thor ulted. And so, even though I'm low on mana, I feel like I have to rotate now, just so that we can get something off of this. Like, Thor, committing his ult in this situation, that's a big ult to have on cooldown. It's a big initiation or escape in a team fight, so you kind of want to get something off of it if you're going to use it. I crack and Rom here because I know he doesn't have Aegis. He uses his beads, Thor misses his wall, and then I make sure that I land my whirlpool so that he can't roll away. And he probably could have after he walked out of the whirlpool. I don't know why he didn't. Might have been down. But after that kill, I just know no cracking, no mana. I just want to get out of there. I know I can finish my boots and start get actual pen online. Now I don't know if you noticed, but Loki was clearing the mid wave while this also was going on. If he was smart, he would have gone and taken my red buff because Kern was pushed out. Thor had no mana. I just backed the base, so that red buff was free if he wanted it, but he didn't take it. For you junglers out there, that's a big thing, is having really good map awareness, because if he was paying attention to what was going on the map, that was a free red buff for him. And again, Robin is out pressuring the hell very nicely. Don't have to worry about her rotating at all. Thor and I split up here. He goes backs, I go lefts, which Loki just did. Now, another thing that Poseidon can do, now this Hera does have Aegis, but another thing that Poseidon can do is you can use that Kraken whenever you want, really, if you just want to pull the Aegis out of someone, or if you kind of just want to test their reflexes to see if they'll pop the Aegis in time. That's one of my favorite things to do is Poseidon. And, even though the Kraken has a fairly long cooldown for an ult, it's still a shorter cooldown than Aegis by a considerable margin, so it's almost always a good play to just throw out your Kraken if you kind of just want to pull someone's Aegis. That was a horrible 3. I wasn't really paying attention to that. when I came to the camp. Luckily, it didn't affect me being able to clear it. And again, I'd like to reiterate how dumb it was that I bought 3 health potions, considering that I still haven't used any yet. So, like I was just saying, I go to kind of check the Hera there, and she was not nearly quick enough on the Aegis, and she died for it. So 3 kills here, and Rom's low on mana, so I'm thinking Gold Fury. And I think the Kern pinged that. Baron apparently didn't want to do it, though. I mean, personally, I think Gold Fury was the play there. Very unlikely that Rom would have enough mana to stop it. And even if he did, you know, me personally, I know that I'm smart enough to drop the Gold Fury if I see Rommel coming in. So we got like a 2.5 level lead right now on this Hera. We're looking really good. I probably should have used my 1 instead of my 3 there. I only got credit for 1 of the creeps in lane. That was a bit of a mistake. Yeah, so I missed 2 archers there. I'm the kind of guy that's always, when I was learning the game for a few years, actually, I was always leveling my 3 first on Poseidon, but now that I've begun to really level the 1 first, I think that's smarter, honestly. Like, you're really only using the whirlpool for the cripple. Okay, now here's a teachable moment for myself, right? So I see them going to the red camp and Hera's low, so I'm thinking to myself, I can probably make a play on this red. And then that happens. So again, dumb that I still have 3 health potions. I could have bought wards, which I do now after getting killed there. Finished my Spear of the Magus as well. So I could have had a ward that I could have had vision on that little choke point there, as well as if I really wanted to get aggressive, I could put it on the red buff itself. But yeah, I mean, I should have known that it could have been a bait, and complete mistake on my part for not recognizing that. The correct play there was to probably just take the left camp or just back, because I didn't have a lot of mana left. Yeah, we'll learn from that one for sure. Something that I like to do, and I've always liked to do this, is that when I come out from base, if it's a little harder to do now with the speed buff in the position that it's in, but if either back camp is up, I always like to take it before I get back to lane, just to get myself a little extra XP and gold. And again, for some reason, I use my 3 instead of my 1 because I thought I could just do that and get out of lane. Probably force a habit from consistently maxing my 3 first. Also, I don't think I would use this ability level order again going forward. Part of the reason why Poseidon is so mana hungry is that if you aggressively level your abilities like I'm doing here, like if you save your 2 for last, you're going to be spending a lot more mana, because the 2 only goes up by 5 mana per level, whereas the 1 and the 3 go up by 10. I think Kraken goes up by 10 as well per level. So by the time you're, 11? You could potentially, at level 12 even, if you don't level the Kraken more than once, you could be looking at 3 abilities that cost 100 mana. Really not good for your sustain. The other problem right now is that, and this is an issue that I think will be fixed with the Season 6 changes. Right now, there's only really 3 viable items that have MP5 on them. It's Book of Thoth, Chronos Pendant, and Rod of Tahuti. And right now, I don't even think Chronos Pendant is that great in Conquest. So here's another moment here. Not a great Kraken there, but I did pull her Aegis, and it was late, so I got the damage out anyway. Now I'm making sure to push my wave under the tower so that I can just go through the tower to get to this fight, because I see that Hera wants to engage. She drops Argus in on the Thor, and so I'm just going to whirlpool in, knock the hell back into it, and apparently I hit the Loki in the back with my 1 to get the kill. And you see right here why I'm not an ADC, as I miss all of my autos. If my 2 was up, maybe I'd land a few of those, or if I just didn't suck, maybe I get those. I almost killed the hell there, but I'm out of mana, and then I'm not really sure why the Robin dives in there. It just wasn't very smart. So I kind of just want to get the rest of this wave. I dropped my 3 in the lane here just seeing how healthy Argus is still, like I thought maybe the Hera would want to keep engaging on me, but she didn't. But had she, the Whirlpool would have poked her a little bit. And right now I'm just looking to get my buff and get out of town. Get back to base. I know I don't have enough gold for my next item, and that sucks, but yeah, them's the breaks. Let's clear this wave here. I would have needed, I think, another like 200 gold for my next item. Let me see. Yeah, I needed like another 200, so even going to get those back camps wouldn't have been enough. So kind of a shitty back. I definitely should have bought wards, and I didn't. That's another mistake that I need to, I guess, just clean up. I used to be the kind of guy that every single back in Conquest I was buying wards, and now not so much. All right, so I see a fight here happening in the left jungle. It looks like a 3v2 in their favor, but they're low. So I see the Geb try to get away. I drop the Whirlpool, cripples him out. Easy kill there. She drops Argus on me. I just cracking him straight away just to get him out of the fight. Nice assist there from Baron. Now I try to use my 3 here to cut Hera off. I probably didn't place that very well. I could have maybe done a better job of getting a little bit closer first. And I miss all my autos again, but with her 3 up, it didn't really matter. Thor, again, just goes in too deep and gets killed for it. If you have vision, that's probably a fine play. And then here's where they start roasting the Robin for not calling missing. Rough stuff. Robin goes in with the ult, gets Hera. I get Hell right there, and then Robin, I believe, dies to Loki. Yeah. Kind of sucks, but that's still a 2-for-1 in our favor. So I'll take it. And we still got a pretty nice lead on the Hera. We got about a 2-level lead. Just picking up backs and such. Yeah, sorry that there's kind of a lull right now, but there's really not much going on. So right there, I just wanted to hard push the wave, seeing how low the tower was. I just wanted to make sure that there was no way they could kill that wave before it gets into the tower. Get that 500 gold for the team, and now I definitely want it back because I have way too much gold. So I buy my gem, and I don't advise doing this, but I waited in base for like 50 gold. It's too much. Don't do that if you're trying to like decide, well, how long can I wait, in base for gold? 50 is too much. I would say if it's anything higher than 30, you should probably just not wait and go out of the map, like go get a camp or something. And I mean, not that I would ever advise like, hey, go get backs and then go right back to base, but if you have to wait for more than 30 gold, you didn't time your back very well. So dual lane wins their, I guess, wins lane. They get their tower. Okay, so now Hera rotates, and again, I didn't know she was there until it was too late. Now, let me preface by saying there's absolutely no reason for me to be here right now. Nothing's up in their side of the jungle. I just see Hera. I come in, Kraken. I thought it was going to be an insta-kill, but it wasn't because her shield and Geb, and again, she ages late. Now, here, Thor running around in the tower, I should have gone after him here. Because by the time I go in, it's too late, and I'm dead. So there are a few things I did wrong there. I could have, well, now you can't see it because the store's in the way, but once it, all right, so right around here, this is where Hera was. I could have pinged her to the Thor to tell him to get out from this side of the tower and go over here to try and kill her. Or I could have just told the Thor to retreat and not gone in at all. I could have maybe taken Oracles. I forget if they were up at the time. But the point is that was a really stupid play, and it's not one that I typically make. Given how big of a lead we had, I thought maybe I could do it, but again, that's not something I normally do. If you get me in your games or whatever, I'm not gonna make this play. And this Robin actually does a great job kiting here for a little while. He ulted too soon. He probably should have waited until the Loki ulted him to try and use the Mystic Rush to get out. But he does a really, he dies eventually, but he does a really nice job juking stuff and making life difficult for them. So I get basically like 2 whole waves here. I noticed that Hera had actually gotten ahead of me in XP for a second there. Just making sure that my passive is stacked. That's another thing that I probably should have mentioned earlier, but the passive meter for Poseidon gives him damage and movement speed. So our dual lane's getting chased down here. I kind of just wait to see what happens. Hera goes in, and Kraken. Now, I'm not exactly sure how I took away all of her HP right there at the very end. I think maybe Kern or Baron must have hit her with something. And this Rom, for whatever reason, decides he's going to try and take purple before I can get there, and that was not it, man. That was not the play. That's one that if that happens to you, like, you know, you get a rotation from your mid, they get blown up, your support is out of the fight. You got to just give that buff up. Just let them have it. A purple buff is not worth your life, especially in that position at this time in the game, because that, as you just saw, free and easy goal fury for my team. I skipped the left camp there. I don't really know why I skipped it, but I think I just wanted to clear the wave and back. I can get my Shaman's Ring here. Now, if you're looking at my build right now, you're probably thinking two things. One, where's your big pen item? And two, where's your sustain item? Like your mana sustain item. And the answer is, one, Spear of the Magus is my big pen item, because Poseidon has tick damage in his kit. And given their team comp and how big of a lead we had, I didn't really feel like I needed Obsidian Shard this game. And as far as my mana sustain goes, well, I have Mage's Blessing. And again, there's really not many good Mage MP5 items right now. They're all really expensive. Chronos, Tahuti, and Book of Thoth, or they just suck like Doom Orb. Well, Doom Orb is getting a lot better, but it's going to be ridiculously expensive. I'm pretty sure it's going to be even more than Tahuti is. I know they said it was 3,000 on the patch notes, but they also said that they're going to increase it. I haven't played PTS at all, so I don't know what it's going to be, but I'd imagine it could be like the old Tahuti price, which is like 3,300. Now here I'm just trying to call off the troops because I don't know where Loki is. Honestly, I have no clue where he is, and we don't have any vision immediately around that tier 2, so I don't want to get ganked and killed. I was only at half HP there. I'm really not a place that I want to be, especially with my Kraken down for another 35, 40 seconds there. I see Baron getting aggressed on. I kind of just throw my abilities out here just to try and dissuade them from pushing forward. Loki does anyway, and he ults, but Baron is, at this point, somehow so tanky that he just gets out without any issue. And he laughs it off in the process. I ping that Loki's ult is down there. They kill him easily. I still don't have a Kraken yet. That was bad pathing by me. I should have cut through the jungle with my teammates. I should have gone behind the Thor and the Baron by the left camp instead of up the lane and into the hell. That was a bad decision by me. And now Thor's about to just go off right here, and he gets a well-deserved U-Rock from me. And my team just cleans house in this fight in the mid lane. Now, this very easily could have been a Phoenix, but because the wave is with me and not up by them, I call Fire Giant. I figure that we could get that easily now with 4 of them dead, and I didn't move my ping over far enough there. But I want to go for the big boy right away. But if you look at the map, like, we could have, right after this Fire Giant, we could easily, if we wanted to, we could go get the solo tier 2, we could rotate to mid and get that tier 2. We could also just start pushing up duo if we really wanted. But yeah, we take fire, we take pyro. My whole team backs. I decide I'm going to pick up a back camp here. And I think I'm pretty sure I grab wave and then my red, and then I back. Or no, I go over to duo because I don't have enough gold. So by this point in the game, yeah, I can basically just cast my 1 or my 3 and walk away immediately. Always nice to be in that point of the game. Makes your rotations much quicker and easier. Great for gods like Ra and Giannis that can just clear with 1 ability. So I go back and I realize I don't have enough for my item. I'm not buying Book of Thoth this late in the game, by the way. This is going to be a Book of the Dead. Solely because of the Loki. I know that he's 2 levels down to me and really has not had much of an impact, but Still, as a mid lane mage player, there's no worse feeling than getting one shot late game without the opportunity to even impact the fight at all. So I thought that was going to give me enough gold. It didn't. Watch, it's like I gotta like rush up the lane now before the current clears it to make sure that I don't miss any farm there. So I go back to base. My team starts pushing up mid. Kern correctly rotates over. Robin coming over from solo lane, and somehow my team is taking a 2v4 or 5 or however many people are in there right now, and they're looking just fine. Could have to do with the fact that the Geb is level 12, but yeah, he goes down right away. Oh, it's 2v4. Rom wasn't even there. He was picking up farm and dueling. So my Kraken's up here. I ward over here because Thor's icon on the minimap obstructed the Loki. I kind of thought maybe he was coming in from there. But I also want to maybe catch the rotation from the Rom. So we get that tower, and they have 6. So, to kind of recap my own thoughts on my own play in this game, the build probably wouldn't go exactly that build again. I'd probably mix in some other items throughout to balance the build out a little bit. Overall, that build, I think, had a lot of flat stats that were good, but not so much in the way of passives or things like CDR that are useful late game. I think that I, for the most part, positioned myself well. There are obviously the 2 deaths that I had were pretty silly on my part, and just objectively bad plays. But again, these aren't plays that I make typically. I'm usually a very careful player, so I like to make sure I have vision and things before I go in. But casual game, fucking around, got a huge lead. Why not? I'm going to pause the video in a moment when the builds come up on the screen, just to give you a little run through of the builds and maybe offer some reasoning for it. Let me start right here. I've never built Lono's Mask on Baron support. That explains why he was so tanky. But I don't really think it's a good item for him, just because ideally you're going to be healing a lot, and Lono's Mask cuts into that, especially when they already have a Pestilence and a Brawlers on their team. They didn't have a Divine Ruin. This could have been Divine Ruin. Probably should have been Divine Ruin. Also, for my last item, really, the problem with my build is that I could sell this Mage's Blessing, right? But then I would go Divine Ruin and have no mana sustain, or I would go Rod or Chronos and have no anti-heal. So, like I said, I kind of built myself into a bit of a pickle there, and I probably wouldn't do this exact combination of items again. If I did, I probably would just go Shard. I'd probably just go Shard here instead of Magus, just to make sure I could hit everybody for a good amount. Kern's build, no issues. Thor's build, no issues. I don't really know why we have 2 Void Shields, but also this is very not tanky for a solo build. Like, I get the Soul Eater, I get the Void Shield, I get the Pestilence. I don't know why you'd go Ancile before Pestilence against the Hell, but I guess it worked. He was way ahead in lane. Their builds, I don't know how Geb only managed to have 3 items. Rom, no issues. Hell, Book of Thoth and solo is very sus. I wouldn't do it. Probably better to go like an early E staff if you want power, or I think maybe instead of the book, maybe you go boots into breastplate, into Asclepius, into Voidstone, and then maybe because you don't need this if you're gonna have this and this. Maybe you get like Lotus Crown somewhere in the build, because that item is honestly just broken on Hell. Loki, it's a fine build. I mean, you could have a Heartseeker, you could have a Titan's Bane in there before all of this. I don't think he was attacking the Baron that much that he needed a Brawlers, aside from that one ult. Hera build, personally, I don't like putting off pen until 4th item. I like to always get it by my 3rd item if possible. Other than that, I don't really have any issues with that build. Not a problem. I don't know. Who do you want me to report out? Thor. I guess for all the missing spam. I'm also a little thrown off by the fact that we had yeah, the two void shields really still gets me a little bit because like they don't stack on each other, and the Thor and the Robin are both diving in pretty deep. It, it kind of feels like one of them could have switched out for another item and gotten something a little bit better. Damage wise, 15k 23-minute game is not bad. Sorry, I'm like fiddling around with the menus here, and that's it. Actually, I'm gonna stop it on the the stat screen. Oh, I goofed. No. All right. So just looking across here, obviously you want your dual lane to not go 0 and 12. Not a lot of wards across the board, really. I think only 10 on my team total. That's pretty bad. You usually want to. Now, obviously, you don't want to go too nuts with warding, especially if you're behind, because then you're just delaying your build. But at any opportunity that you have to buy wards, you should, and you should place them, and you should give yourself and your team vision, because wards win games, and I cannot stress that enough. Really, I mean it. I absolutely cannot stress that enough. I didn't, you know, I'm not one to brag about my rank or anything because I don't think I'm a pro player by any means, but like I didn't make it to diamond by not placing wards. You got to make sure you give yourself vision because the more information you have on what the other team is doing and where they are, the better. All right. So that's gonna about do it for the commentary. Again, if you liked what you saw, if you liked the information that you got, and if you're still on the fence about potentially asking for help, don't be afraid. I will not roast you like I did to myself on some of these plays. I promise you, I will be friendly no matter how bad it looks. I will keep a straight face and I will make sure to give you advice to the best of my ability.